り神降臨山やじよりば Oops. Good day, guys. Come here. Welcome back to Langrisser and on this part one of two video, we'll be featuring the two hero and heroines that are being featured for the month of October 2023 in the CN server. And well, this part one of the video is definitely going to get demonetized due to the song I used earlier on. But why do I do that? You guys will be finding out soon. So are you guys ready? Before we carry on, a very great thanks to information shared and provided by the Langrisser mobile app Mong so you and watch to the end for the translations I've done for you guys. And let's get started. So, the first heroine that will be featured on part one of this video will be Princess, and let's check her spelling. Her name is Eshean. It sounds like A, I'm not sure is there due to some translation error. She's pronounced as Eshean, and I think the English server will or might change her name to A, because if you go check out translations, Ashen or Ashen, it kind of give you the similar translations to the characters. And alright, I'm gonna presume the English version is gonna go change it. And yup, this lady characters you're seeing here right now, if you have guessed it from the openings that I've done early on, so yep, she is the princess of Cyberic Kingdom, Cyberic or Cyberic. She is previously, initially fans thought she is supposed to be the daughter of Emperor Fury, but apparently it's not. She is a princess of another kingdom, which is known as Cyberic or Cyberic. Either way, okay, she starts with E or A, and that means she is definitely very strong and tough. Not to mention, ever since Langrisser 4.0, if fans actually know it or notice it, a lot of heroes are going to slowly, the stronger heroes are slowly going towards with A opening, like Apotheosis, Awakener, then to the recent characters Andrew, which is a previous banner released in the September, then provided by the latest banner, it's Ashen or Ashen, depending on the translations of your region. So for now I'm gonna treat it as she's gonna be either E or A, but apparently she's definitely top tier, which we will find out more. So okay, just a quick understanding. So she is a lovable young princess of the Cyberic Kingdom, and okay, Lovely Kami Requiem, the song. So as you guys can tell, okay, for some reason I have not played the game that far into this latest chapters featuring this princess. However, a lot of pro players in the CN server has actually shared and said that she has introduced herself in the game as an 14-year-old adult, a grown lady, a 14-year grown lady. So okay, we know Langrisser M is set in the medieval era, so based on that timeline, people who are 12 to 14 is start to be considered as a grown-up. However, at present day's law, she is definitely considered as a lolly, and if you try to like her or woo her, you'll definitely get in trouble. So, yep. Do not fall in love with lolly, you perv. Then, alright, to check out whom she has previously voiced. Okay, she is a voice actress, apparently is known as Manami Numakura. So I am not very familiar with this idol, to be honest. But she has actually previously voiced the two famous characters. One is from the Idol Masters. The other one is known as Hua Wu Xiaoyang. I'm not very familiar with this show. Let's check how this show is supposed to be pronounced. Or how the name, the translations of the shows. Okay, so the one on the left is Idol Master, which is a famous title. On the right, it's known as Hana Yamata. So I have not watched any of the series, but if you think it's very nice, definitely feel free to support these characters and also watch the animations to buy the products. And the relation she have is with the hero that we're gonna be introducing on the part 2 of my video. He's none other than Hoofman, that will be coming out with her together in this banner. So she has relationship, as in she knows him, and if you want to unlock her bond, you definitely need to summon Hoofman too. So in order to stop the civil war or any rebellion in the country, Eshean gave Hoofman the name, the Kingdom's Shield, the title, and apparently he managed to, well, safeguard and protect the kingdom. So he have credits for it. However, she do not know the greed that Hoofman has underneath his smile and his, well, as you can see, single eyes, characters who do not open his eyes. I'm not sure is that like a official name to name it. So let me check out. I know in Chinese or Mandarin we call it as Mimian. Okay, characters with squinting eyes. Okay, that's a description. Okay, something I learned. But however, in order to defend them against from the Empire troops, which is from Emperor Teoferi, the faction from Andril, the young princess Eshean has no choice but to give these good positions to Hoofman. Then the other one that she has relationship with is Nemia from the fairy tribes or the elf or fairy. Okay. So apparently they have some contract, magical contract. So the elf queen or fairy queen apparently get a messenger, which is Nemia, to, well, they basically, long story short, they're an ally, they're helping each other. So apparently Eshean is in a very deep trouble because her father, the previous king, just passed away, and it was mentioned that she has Oni-chan, her elder brother. Apparently, it's currently his whereabouts are unknown. He's kind of lost. So be rest assured, we will definitely see him sooner or later, unless he's dead. So Eshean has no choice but to accept the assistance from Nemia's and group. Then the other one is the heroine that's to be coming on November. Oh, sorry, end of November, end of October to November banner is Isolde. So Isolde is kind of like a mentor trying to guide Eshean to the right path when she's in all this deep trouble. Then to help her, so she's like a elder assistant advisor. So apparently she's been hired to be the kingdom's war advisor under the contract that she do not interfere with the kingdom's politics. And okay, that's it for the characters' introductions and some backstory. We will now be going on introducing the characters' talent, factions, exclusive skills, and 3C. Oops, sorry guys. Sorry. One last thing before we go through the next sections is to let you guys hear her voice. Hey, yep, we have not listened to how she sounds like, so okay, let us hear her sentence.
二人きりの時に私を殿下と呼ぶ必要はない。そなたは私が認める戦士であり、大切な友人なのだから。
Okay, so she's saying when we are alone, you do not need to address me as your highness because you are the warriors that I acknowledge, and you are also my very important friend. Alright, let's listen again and we will go to the next sections.
二人きりの時に私を殿下と呼ぶ必要はない。そなたは私が認める戦士であり、大切な友人なのだから。
Okay, let's go to the next section officially. So alright, let's go through the factions of Eshean or Eshean. Okay, so her faction. So okay, so I'm gonna presume Eshean's kingdom belongs to the Glory of Light because her factions has Glory of Light. She is Princess, and last but not least, Meteor. And we will be going through on her talent, and you guys can see it is freaking long and has lots of effect. I'm gonna assure you she is very, very, very OP, which we'll discuss at the end. And of course, let me repeat again, watch to the end for the translation I did for you guys, and this time I will not be repeating too much, so we can, well, get it fast. Okay, the talent is known as Kingdom's Glory. The effects are as follow. Number 1, increase attack and defense by 25%. Number 2, at the start of the turn, if your brilliance layer has not reached its max limit, you will gain 1 layer of brilliance counter or 1 layer of brilliance. So brilliance effect will provide the following. For every layer of brilliance, you increase your damage deal by 10%. The max layer it can be gained or stacked up to is 3 layers. Last but not least, brilliance cannot be dispelled. Number 3, when the turn starts while the number of brilliance reach its max layer, remove all the layer of it and reduce all CD of the skills you bring by 5 turns. Number 4, when you end your turn, you can additionally cast the effect known as ruling ability, and you can choose one out of the 3 following skills, the one that you see at the last 3 line here, guys. So the first one is known as revitalize, the second is known as imperial order, and the third is roughly translated as speed gallop. So number 1 will be revitalize. The effect is remove a layer of brilliance and recover 30% of your unit's HP. There is no CD, it's a self-heal skills and it's single target only. Second skills, Imperial Order. When you cast the skills, you will gain a layer of brilliance and increase a target's ally attack or intelligence, target attack and intelligence by 20% for 2 turns. Again, this skills has no CD and the range is 3 blocks. It's a single target skills. Third, Speed Gallop. The effect is as follows: gain 1 layer of brilliance and target an ally unit that has already ended its turn and let it act again. This skill has a CD of 3 turns and the unit range is 3 blocks. Is a single target skills. And that's it for her talent, and just by reading it, it is very strong. And the first thing that comes to many fans' mind is that she's definitely going to be a very great support character. But I assure you guys, she is more than just a support. So things to note is that she's kind of like a self-inbuilt faction buffer for herself, because her talent provide increased attack and defense by 25%. Then the other thing is her unique skills ability known as the brilliance effect. So each layer gained by the brilliance will give damage increment of up to 30%, and not to mention this talent effect cannot be dispelled. Then when every turn start, if you have reached the max layer, which is 3, all brilliance counter will automatically be consumed, and it's not like just end there. Consuming all layers of brilliance will reduce all cooldown of the skills you bring by 5, and none of her skills is more than 5. That's very cool. Then followed by once you end your turn, you can cast additional skills. So this part is kind of similar like Florentia. So one of it allows you to heal, the other one is instead of increasing your speed, it becomes like power up skills, increasing attack intelligence by 20%, and it lasts for 2 turns. Then last but not least, she has act again. So this part is similar to Florentia, and the funny thing is that only revitalize, the one that heals, will requires to remove brilliance, and the other 2 will give you gaining brilliance. And this is very easy to trigger the effect because there's no cost, and the cost is definitely lesser compared to characters like Florentia or Leona. And alright, we will move on to her exclusive skill. So she has 2 exclusive skills and 1 3C. And then the rest of the skills we will go through during the demo play. So okay, the first exclusive skill one is on her default class known as a Pegasus Princess. Okay, the skill is roughly translated as Star Neon Eternal Day. So it's a 1C skill, has a CD of 4. The range is self-targeting. The AoE type is a single target support skills. The effect are as follows. 1. When you cast this support skill, for each layer of brilliance you have, gain 1 random buff. Number 2, you will be able to move 3 blocks and attack again. 3. If you have 2 or more layers of brilliance, you will move 4 blocks instead and attack again. When using this act again skills, buff turn you had will not be reduced. However, you will not be able to cast ruling ability from your talent. So there's pros and cons about these skills. However, there's more pros than cons. So the first thing is that this is the act against skills, and any characters having act against skills is definitely good or OP. Not to mention, she has a class Pegasus Princess class, which allows her to move 5. So the minimum you can move is 5 plus 3. And for each brilliance you have when you cast this act against skills, you gain an additional buff. Then second is that you'll be able to move 3 blocks again. However, the third ability mentioned is that if you have 2 or more layers of brilliance, you will move 4 blocks instead of 3. So you can move 5 plus 4, which is 9, and that is definitely a very great movement maneuver operation against enemies. Not to mention, if you give breeze to her, you'll be 7 plus 4, which is 11 movements. That is, oh my gosh, and plus attack range of 1, so that is 12. Then last but not least, the pros and the cons is the usual stuff, the pros and a bit of con. The usual stuff, when you use the act against skills, buff turn you have will not be reduced. The only cons is that when you cast this act again, you will not be able to spam the ruling ability from your talent effect again. So 4 pros and only 1 cons. This is yeah, it's okay. You can still cast your talent skills after you end turn. It's just they don't let you cast your talent while you act again, which is to be fair. Okay, next is her Pegasus, her flying cars, which is exclusive skill 2. Okay, and skill 2 is kind of long because it has tons of supports effect. Okay, the effect is known as Cyberic or that blessing, or Cyberic or that blessing. So the Cyberic or Cyberic refers to the kingdom she's at. So until now, I do not know whether you should go pronounce that Cyberic or Cyberic. So pardon me if I had a wrong translation for this. Okay, but however, who cares? We only care about the effect, right? Okay, this is a 2C skills. It has a CD of 2. The range is self-targeting, and the AoE spam block is 3 blocks. It has both active and command aura effects. So the command aura effect is follows. Number 1, allies 2 blocks around you will have crit rate taken reduced by 30% and range damage reduced by 15%. WTF, guys, she just has the command aura or the talent protection effect of Langrisser. She is a super OP version of Langrisser because she is a flying unit, and yep, we all know that flying units are afraid of range or archer. However, she has this inbuilt crit rate reduction and also range damage taken reduced by 15%. That is very, I'm gonna say it's quite OP for this. Definitely greatly increase her own survivability and also her allies. Okay, moving to the active skills. These active skills provide either increasing or power up the ability of her talent ruling abilities skills. So it provides 3 of the following effect. So number 1, 1, 2, 3 is accordingly to her talent sequence: revitalize, imperial orders, and speed gallop. So number 1 is increasing the power of revitalize. So instead of healing 30% on herself only, she can now gain the following: increase, number 1, increase HP recovery to 80%. Then number 2, able to cast on any ally tree blocks around you. So the great power is that instead of self-targeting only, this is now range 3 blocks range target, and instead of healing 30%, it now becomes 80%. And this is a very great advantage to both heroes, allies, and also soldier units, because some soldiers talent or effects will only trigger, like the Red Horse cavalry units will be triggered when its HP it's above 80% and above. So this instantly resolve a lot of issue, and I gotta say 80% is a lot for a non-healer ability. Then second, it's Imperial Order, the one that provides increased attack intelligence to 30%. So the power-up version of Imperial Order now will provide the following 3 abilities. Number 1, increase attack and intelligence to 30% instead of 20%. So an additional 10%. This is the max you can receive. This is the only heroes or heroine that can provide these. The one that I can remember thus far is Akaya. But oh my god, she has gained all this great stuff. Akaya, Florentia, Landis. Oh gosh. So increase attack intelligence 30%. Then second is increase defense by 20%. And third, increase magic defense by 30%. So what she provides right now from Imperial Order basically is a greater faction buff. So faction buff only increase attack intelligence to 20%. So you can treat it like, though it is not, but you can roughly treat it as like there's an effect faction buff, because she provides 30% attack intelligence, and additional she has defense increment 20% and magic defense 30%. This is all what is provided by faction buff. However, the downside is that the effect only lasts for 2 turns, but nonetheless it is great a lot. And third, speed gallop, which is the act again skills. It will now, in addition to providing act again, you'll now increase your target movement speed by +2 for 2 turns. Oh my gosh, this is too freaking, oh my gosh, this is too freaking OP. So I mean, if let's say you are okay, the most recent stronger heroes we know are Andreas and SP Bernhard. So I'll take Andreas for example. So Andreas, Breeze do not proc. He's traveling he's only having a movement of 5 right now. However, after his turn, you will use Ashian's Speed Gallop on him after you cast these skills. He will now be able to act again, and on top of that, his movement speed is a 7 instead of 5 right now. And so basically you can do this combo. Andreas move 5 steps forward and turn. Ashian's move up, go act again on Andreas, and then he just go another 7. Then you're gonna cast his act again plus 2. That's gonna be a 5. Then go 7 plus another 2 or 3, and then he has another range skills. That is basically the full map. Yup, that's a very I'm gonna use the word, that's a very gay combo, and that means strong combo. That's very OP. Kudos to Ashians. And okay, that's it for her exclusive skill 2. We will now proceed to the last, which is the 3C. And again, it's very strong. It has both passive and active skills. Okay, the 3C is known as Destiny of Honored Returning. Okay, this skill has a CD of 5, a range of 1 block. The AoE type is a single target physical attack skills. So this is by far her skills with the highest CD of 5. So there's nothing that her talent cannot reduce the CD on. Okay, for her passive, the effects are as follows. If you have Brilliance Layer or Brilliance counter when you receive a death blow attack from an enemy, when you receive a death blow only. So be it allies or enemy, she'll still be revived with 30% HP. And then reduce all skills CD by 5 turns. This whole effect can only happen once per battle. Oh gosh, you gotta be kidding me. So okay, just this passive alone, this is too scary. She has not one but 2 methods of CD reduction effect for her skills. One is from a talent. If you have 3 counters of brilliance when the turn start, it will be consumed and reduce all your skill CD. The other one is if you have, now the 3C is if you have brilliance counter when you receive a death blow, you'll be resurrected with 30% HP and reduce all skills cooldown by 5 turns, even though it can only happen once per battle. This is like you can just keep spamming your 3C. This is very scary, guys. Alright, last but not least, now we move to the active skills. It looks short, but the effects are a lot. I'll show you guys the effect as follow. Active skills. Number 1, attack and deal 1.3 times damage to target enemy. 2, for each layers of brilliance counter you have, increase the skill's damage by 15%. 3, if you have 2 layer or more brilliance counter, this attack will cause stun to the target enemy before battle for 1 turn, and it cannot be dispelled. This I got to repeat, guys. This stun effect cannot be dispelled. So the only way to counter it is having rows and seals or other characters that can reflect this effect to prevent your characters from getting stuns. If not, once you get stunned, even if you have Liana or any great healers, there's no way they can recover from this. 4th, if you successfully destroy or kill the enemy with these skills instead, you will remove all layers of brilliance and reduce all skills cooldown by 5 turns, and you will be able to move 5 blocks again after this attack. Holy Okay, as of this part, guys, I gotta apologize. She do not have one, she do not have two, but she have three freaking skill reduction methods in her sleeve, guys. So and all of her skills do not have like a if this do not happen, the other effect will just happen. Her 3C has very great synergy with her talent, despite the low damage count of 1.3 times, because Ashian's talent is, if she have max, for each layers of brilliance counter you get 10% damage increment. So the max you can go is 30% increment, then plus this brilliance 3C brilliance effect. For each brilliance you have increased the skill damage by 15%, though the max is 45% plus 30%. That is 75% damage increment in damage. That is a lot. And 1.3 times plus another 0.75 times. Oh gosh, I guess this is, I'm not sure if you will reach 100%, but it's definitely 90%. The enemies will die from her attack, or should you say you cannot Langrisser. Then next is that when you have two or more brilliance counter, the attack will cause stun to the target enemy before the battle, and it cannot be dispelled. So you will stun the enemy first, then you proceed for the attack. So enemy cannot retaliate, provided if let's say there is no any counter measures. So you fought the enemy, they got stunned, then you successfully kill the enemy with the skills. It will consume all your brilliance, so definitely you lose all your brilliance effect. Then you will reduce all your skill CD by 5, and you will be able to move 5 blocks after the attack. So this 3C gave her super duper great survivability if you successfully destroy the enemy with the skills. So, and next turn you can cast this effect again. And not to mention, last but not least, there is no cooldown for the skills to trigger this effect. So there is not like there is a CD of 1 to 2 turns before you can trigger the skill reduction effect, or able to move 5 blocks again from this attack. So I hate to say this, either every 1 turn or every 2 turns max, you'll be able to keep spamming this 3C if you're able to kill your enemy. Yeah, that is very OP just by the skills alone. Then not to mention, she is the first heroine that will be receiving the first new flying unit, is known as Star Neon Pegasus. The effect on max level are as follow: increase soldiers attack, defense and magic defense by 25%, and if before attacking, if your movement is 3 or more, increase the damage the soldier unit done by 15%. So this soldier unit, this new soldier unit has been officially crowned as the best flying unit over the past 5 years, because they have self-attack defense and magic defense increment, so you can fend off against physical attack and also survive against magical attack. So we all know flying units are strong against magic spells. Then, however, right now this unit has both defense and magic defense increment, so that's very strong. And not to mention that if you move 3 or more blocks before battle, the damage they deal will increase by an additional 15%. So this is crazy. And this is why before we end this video, guys, I gotta discuss with you. So everyone is gonna be like, is she an great support heroine only? The answer is no. She is definitely tier 1 to 0 right now upon her release, and by the time you guys are watching this video, we are currently at the start to almost the end of the CN server Apex S16. So as of S16 right now, Eshean is the highest pick rate heroine in the Apex, and whoever pick her first or will get to pick her in the team, they have like over a 60 to 70% win rate because of her OPness. She can both support allies, self-buff herself, act against allies, and she can almost one-shot any enemies. And it's not just mage, not just like weak heroes like Yani under Calmo, any mage. She can so after this video, I will be soon posing the Apex S16. You guys might be able to see how strong she is. In certain Apex match, she is seen to be able to one-shot SP Bernhardt directly. So you guys know SP Bernhardt, or Bernhardt itself himself has the talent of reducing enemies' attack and defense. However, Eshean's in front of Eshean, she don't care. She will just one-shot Bernhardt with her skills, and after killing Bernhardt, she can still run back to the tank's defense because she can move 5 blocks upon killing the enemy with a 3C, and this is how great or strong she is. She can be super OP or have great synergy in be it turtle, ground, or rush formations. So before we end it, I'm going to give a few sharings of the great synergy she has. So if you're in the turtle formations, if enemy keep blasting you with attacks or AoE damage, having Esheans in the team is definitely great because you can either choose to use her talent, the effects after using with an exclusive skill 2, the support skills. So you can actually cause the max effect, the max healing effect, which is to heal either of the tanker's HP by 80%, and you can target up to 3 blocks. Then if you're using ground or rush formation, you can choose to increase Eshean's own attack or any allies attack, defense, and magic defense, and that is almost like a greater faction buff because the attack she can boost is up to 30%, and the effect lasts for 2 turns. And since you're going for the kill, this is definitely enough. So then the other one, last but not least, it depends. Be it turtle, rush, or ground formations, if you need to, you can cast speed gallop, like for the turtle formations where you have a lot of tanks and You have around 2 to 3 tanks, 1 to 2 healers, and maybe 1 more Ashians. That makes up of 5. So after your healer heals and the enemies still come up with a barrage of attack, you can either use Ashians to either heal any of the tankers, or you can get Ashians to act again on the healer, so the healer can spam the heal again and at the same time quickly replenish or recycle their healing skills. And this is very scary. That's the scariest things about Ashians. Then the other one is, well, basically what her talents provide. Her talents provide additional damage due for each stacks of her talent, and this damage stacks can stack up with her 3C. Not to mention her 3C do not have any downsides, because her 3C has great synergy with herself. So this is the scariest things about Ashian right now. She is definitely OP. So she is now so I guess we now officially go with both Langrisser and Alhazard, and despite her name sound spelled as E, but the pronunciation sounds as an A, Ashians. So what did you guys think? If she's OP, Medicure, or meh? Well, I guess the answer is there in everyone's heart right now. So okay, this is Kami. Hope you guys like this video, and see you guys on the next part of the video featuring Hoofman, and followed by the upcoming demo play and Apex video. Goodbye.